One really cool thing I want to show you here is Xslt Functions. Now, let's just look at a partial list of these, and I'll refer you out to one of the other resources, third-party resources on Xslt to get the complete list. But for example, there's a ceiling function that will let you round the decimal up to the nearest integer. There's a floor function that will let you round that decimal down to the nearest integer. There's a round function that will round the decimal to the nearest integer using the rules of rounding. There's a sum function that adds numbers together, and a count number that determines a certain quantity in a set. Now notice what this implies. Not only in Xslt can we traverse an XML document and look for certain nodes and certain values on certain nodes, we can now perform functions on the nodes as we find them or as we loop through them or go through for each statements. And I'll show you an example of that with the count. Now this really starts to add power to what you can do with Xslt. So here we are back out at our normal People XML document and our People XSL. Now right now what we've got this thing doing is just simply returning the names of the husbands. Well, we don't want to return the names of the husbands. We actually want to count and find out how many husbands there are. Well, all we have to do for this is to come back out here and say let's match the people tag, okay, the people element, which is right here. We want to know how many husbands are inside there. So what we're going to do is simply come down here and put number of husbands, and then on my value of statement I will put select, and instead of saying name right here, I'm going to add something. I'm going to say count, and in parentheses put husband / name, and I'll put that on there, and I'll pull off my break tag. We don't need that anymore. So notice we're saying look in the people and count the number of husbands with a name tag. And notice here's a husband tag, here's a name, there's 1. Here's another husband tag, there's a name, that's 2. Another husband name and a tag, that's 3. So that's what we should see. So let's run it. Notice all we're getting back now is the number of husbands is 3. Pretty cool, right? Because this thing went in and counted them up. Now if I added 1 or took 1 away, obviously it would change. So this is an example of using some of these functions, and notice right here we use the count function to determine and tell us how many particular items are in an XML document. This can be huge because now we're really starting to pull a lot more information out of that document than what was originally handed to us. Is the fact that there's 3 names and the husband tag in here? Yeah, it's a fact. How hard is it to see? Well, we don't want to read this, but we can use these functions to find them for us. So again, go out to some of the other references, take a look at the various functions and play with them and see what you can pull out of your XML documents.